President Donald Trump's White House Tech Dinner, which brought together some of the most influential leaders in the global technology industry including Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates, Apple CEO Tim Cook, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, along with many other high-profile executives, was not merely a ceremonial gathering but a reflection of how politics, technology, and economic power are increasingly intertwined in the 21st century, because when leaders from Silicon Valley and other tech hubs sit across the table with the President of the United States, it symbolizes the merging of two of the most powerful forces shaping the modern world: government policy and technological innovation, and the discussions that happen behind those closed doors often go far beyond the usual rhetoric, diving deep into critical issues such as artificial intelligence, data privacy, cybersecurity, global competitiveness, intellectual property rights, the role of social media in democracy, and the future of jobs in an era defined by automation and digital transformation. At the dinner, the atmosphere was a mixture of formality and urgency, as the CEOs understood that while they were there to exchange ideas and present their visions for the future, they were also being called upon to justify the immense power and influence that their companies hold over society, with Bill Gates, who has transitioned from being the leader of Microsoft to one of the world's most recognized philanthropists, likely emphasizing the role of technology in solving global health crises, renewable energy, and climate challenges, while Tim Cook, known for his firm stance on user privacy and secure ecosystems, would have used the opportunity to highlight Apple's dedication to innovation while protecting consumer data in an age where surveillance and breaches are rampant, and Mark Zuckerberg, whose company Meta, formerly Facebook, has been at the center of controversies around misinformation, political manipulation, and privacy concerns, would have been in a delicate position to defend his company's role in shaping online discourse while also laying out the ambitious roadmap of the metaverse, a virtual environment that could define the future of communication, work, and entertainment, whereas Sam Altman, representing OpenAI in the AI research community, would have carried the responsibility of presenting the promises and perils of artificial intelligence, stressing how AI could revolutionize industries from healthcare to education, yet also raising alarms about safety, regulation, and ethics to ensure that humanity remains in control of the technologies it creates. President Trump, a leader who has often highlighted the importance of bringing jobs back to America and ensuring that the U.S. stays at the forefront of global innovation, likely pressed the executives on issues of investment in American manufacturing, job creation, and fair trade, as well as confronting concerns about foreign competition, especially from China, which has been aggressively expanding its technological capabilities, thereby challenging U.S. dominance in sectors like 5G, semiconductors, and artificial intelligence. And in such a gathering, it is almost certain that discussions touched upon cybersecurity threats not just from rogue hackers but also from state-sponsored actors who threaten U.S. infrastructure, elections, and national security, making the partnership between government and tech companies essential to developing advanced defense systems and protective frameworks. Beyond security, the issue of regulation versus innovation was bound to surface, as many policymakers have been calling for stricter regulations on big tech due to monopolistic practices, antitrust concerns, and the immense control that a few corporations hold over global markets, while the CEOs, on the other hand, would argue that too much regulation could stifle innovation, slow down progress, and cause the U.S. to lose its competitive edge against global rivals. And this push and pull dynamic between innovation and oversight has always defined the relationship between Washington and Silicon Valley. But what makes events like this dinner unique is that it brings the conversation to a single table where decisions are influenced not only by economics but also by personalities, relationships, and the ability to negotiate. The presence of high-profile figures also reflects how technology has become the new oil of the modern age. Those who control data, AI, and digital infrastructure effectively control the future. And therefore the symbolism of this dinner extends to the global stage, where countries like China, Russia, and members of the European Union were no doubt watching closely, analyzing whether U.S. tech giants are aligning with their government in a way that could reinforce American dominance in the decades to come, or whether fractures and disagreements might weaken the country's strategic position. And in this context, the dinner was as much about sending a message of unity and strength as it was about genuine dialogue. Yet beneath the surface, one cannot ignore the competing interests at play, with each executive representing corporations worth hundreds of billions, each with their own agenda, priorities, and philosophies about the role of technology in society, some focusing on profit and shareholder value, others emphasizing innovation and disruption, while still others stress social responsibility and ethical considerations. Moreover, the role of social media companies in elections, the rise of artificial intelligence in military and defense applications, the growing demand for green technologies to combat climate change, and the urgent need to reskill millions of workers displaced by automation are all subjects that must have found their way into the conversation, making the dinner not just a meeting but a microcosm of the greatest challenges facing humanity today. And if history is any guide, such gatherings often lay the groundwork for future policies, partnerships, and initiatives that might only become visible years later, meaning that this White House Tech Dinner of 2025 could be remembered as a pivotal moment when the paths of politics and technology intersected in ways that will shape the trajectory of the future economy, society, and governance, proving once again that in the modern era, no leader, whether in politics or technology, can afford to ignore the immense impact that the other holds over the destiny of nations and the progress of civilization.